You're watching East Midlands Today here on the BBC. Next tonight, how a rising tide of rough sleepers are being helped into homes in Nottingham. We can reveal that well over 700 people were found on the city streets over the course of just last year. And tonight, one man tells us how he was rehoused after sleeping rough for nearly a decade. Well, our social affairs correspondent Jeremy Ball can tell us more. Jeremy, good evening to you. I mean, with those figures, it does sound like a huge challenge.
It really is, Anne. I mean, Nottingham has been a magnet for rough sleepers for many years now, partly perhaps because there's so much support in the city. Outreach workers go out into town every single night, so they have a much more detailed picture than the official annual street count. Now, here's what the street outreach team found across the whole of last year. They identified 729 different individuals who spent at least a night sleeping rough in Nottingham. That is a 21% increase on the previous year. And this is how last year's figures break down. 2/3 of the people they found were on the streets for the first time. And just look at the difference they're making. They say almost half of last year's rough sleepers have now been successfully rehoused. And I've been out to see how they're doing it.
Morning, street outreach.
How do you persuade someone living like this to accept help that could save their life?
You're right, mate.
It's 5 in the morning. We're out with Meg and Theo on their daily street outreach patrol.
Sorry to wake you, mate. You all right?
No one likes being woken up, but Meg needs to check they're conscious. This man just wants something warm to eat and drink.
There's sugar in the bag as well for you.
That's a way to build a relationship, to get people off the streets, offering help with everything from housing to benefits or drug treatment. But some simply don't want it.
It's not always a choice. There's other factors that come into play, like mental health. Some may struggle to go into accommodation. The cost of living crisis has had an impact. Those that aren't able to stay with family and friends anymore because there's not enough room in the house, it's too expensive.
And someone's called the rough sleeping hotline after spotting this man behind a church hall.
Can we arrange to have a meet up with you and see what we can do?
They'll try to find him a room or a hostel place.
Tomorrow?
They find people sleeping in hidden places like this underground car park too. Others are taking huge risks. It's desperate, isn't it, that people are sleeping in a place like this?
Yeah. Desperate, but it's somewhere that's got shelter, but if they come and collect the bin, that's somebody potentially going into a crusher, which is horrific.
I'll get you back here.
Oh, mate, cool.
But things are looking up for 57-year-old Pops. He's moved into a scheme called Housing First after 9 years on the streets. He's still dependent on alcohol, so John's giving him intensive support.
Literally anything. If I have to go to an appointment, he'll come with me. Or half the time, he makes the appointments for me, so a hell of a difference. I don't reckon personally I'd survive another winter out on the streets. Horrible. Freezing. It's like sleeping in the fridge.
And it's been so cold in Nottingham for the last few nights that some rough sleepers were given hotel rooms. That's under what's known as the Severe Weather Emergency Protocol. That freezing weather meant nobody should have been sleeping rough here in Nottingham last night, but we've already found 14 people who spent the night like this.
If I could get on my feet.
And this man's furious about it.
I ain't lying, bruv.
We just still continue to offer support when he's ready. He was in a hotel, but unfortunately was asked to leave. He's obviously quite upset about that.
And tonight, more people are likely to be sleeping rough because the city's emergency accommodation's closing as temperatures start to rise. More people needing somewhere safe and a roof over their heads. Jeremy Ball, BBC East Midlands Today, Nottingham.